Hey, so welcome to Between Therapy and Reality podcast. It's been a minute. Uh was supposed to record with my counterpart Dana um last week, and then she had some stuff happening where she wasn't able to make it, and I'm not mad at you, Dana. Then I was going to record when I was on vacation, and vacation just it got a little wild. It was kind of a lot, and so that just didn't happen. So here we are doing Rachel's Diaries version, I guess, because what else are you going to do whenever you promise people a podcast and then you don't follow through? You got to find a way to follow through. So I'm on my way to the gym. Been the first time I've exercised in a week, and I'm feeling it. I know this week was a really, really hard week. It was me and my son were pretty much at each other's throats all week long. Anything I asked of him was a meltdown, and my patience wore thin. It was funny because we were at the lake, like the Ozarks, and for vacation, met some friends up, and we went to this beach. This it was like a water bar, and they had a beach there. It was in the middle of the daytime, so I was not taking my son out partying at a bar for starters. But there was a beach area. We took him, and he was super excited to go, was ready to go, and I couldn't wait to get there. We got there in the parking lot. He heard the music, and he just freaked out. He started screaming. He started hitting me. He's like, I'm not going in there. I want to go home. I don't know how long we were in that parking lot trying to get him inside, but it felt like 10 years to me. And finally, I just picked him up and carried him inside, screaming bloody murder. People were kind of looking a little funny, like, yeah, what's this lady doing? Dragging her child around like a lunatic? And he gets in there, still doesn't want to go. Finally, he starts asking for some water. He sees me drinking a nice cold glass of water. He asks for a glass of water. At that point, it had probably been like 20 minutes in to meeting our friends up, and the guy we were hanging out with, it was him and his wife were there. He poured a glass of water for my son, and he drank it, and was just like nothing ever happened. It was fine. Just like, okay, I'm glad we're here now. Can I have some food? It's like 20 minutes of you just continuously screaming that you're ready to go. And my friends were like, the wife, she was just like, you were just so patient with him. Like, I don't know if you're putting on a show for us or if you're just patient. Like, is that just how you are? And I was like, well, you should have seen me at Sit Stop this morning when I was not so patient with him because he was acting like that. And the coffee maker didn't work, and it was 6 a.m. and we were getting ready for family photos that he didn't want to do. So you should have seen me not be patient. That it was like in that moment I was so worn down that my patience came back to me. It was weird because I was exhausted at that point. And that was day one. That was day one of our vacation. So it was the never-ending vacation. Everything after that just went downhill. I was going to try and meet some other friends up. Ended up just not even messaging her because I couldn't handle another breakdown. I couldn't handle another public display of chaos. It was already hard enough having that moment with my son. And it's normally like, I don't care. I know he's going to act like when he doesn't want to do something, he acts out, we move on, the world is fine. But when it had been ongoing like this, I just gave up. I was like, I'm not going to do it. And it was still not good enough. And this week, I just struggled so much with just not feeling good enough. Like everything I did was wrong. Everything I did made him mad. My reactions were excessive. And I no longer felt like I was even in control of myself to help him get control of himself. So how do you parent when you're just exhausted? It's not easy. It's really hard. So So I spent the week just beating myself up, basically. Having my son literally beat me up. And we got through it. We came home a day early because I just wanted to be home. I wanted to be in my bed. I wanted to be able to sleep. Our sleep had been so bad. We weren't comfortable in that bed. And me and my son co-sleep together. So I wasn't comfortable. He wasn't comfortable, which just continued to increase our tensions and our anger at each other. So we got back, had a good night's sleep. I'm able to be a little bit more patient with him, but I still catch myself having moments of insanity with him. So it brings us to today. Today we're at church, and part of this week I was blaming his dad. Like, if his dad didn't do this, then I wouldn't have these behaviors. If his dad didn't act like this, I wouldn't have these behaviors. Never during that week did I stop and reflect on what could I be doing different, or what was I doing not necessarily wrong, but not necessarily correct. And in service today at church, they're talking about sin. It's a great series. It really is interesting, but it's kind of intense. But it just kind of hit me. This week, I have been so disconnected from God. My normal routine is to get up in the morning, make my coffee, work on my sourdough. I love Agnes. She's my new love of my life. And then I read my Bible and I pray and I spend time alone with God. And that's my routine every single morning, whether I have my son or not. And I didn't do that at all last week. I was so disconnected from my Creator that I was losing control of myself. And that right there is why I'm doing things different. That's why I'm giving up my old life, the life of chaos, the life of madness, the life of selfishness, and I'm doing something different. I'm going back to church. I'm turning my life over to God. I'm letting Him be the reason I get up in the mornings, and Him be the guidance of my life. And last week that didn't happen. Last week I was trying to control these situations, and I was trying to make this perfect family vacation, this perfect event. And it was horrible. I have never been so glad to be back from vacation because of how bad vacation was. If I could get a redo, I would do it in a heartbeat because it was just so bad. And part of that is it's on me because I got out of my habits and my routine, and instead of pulling myself back in, I stayed in that place of anger and frustration, and I stayed in a place where I was just no, I can figure this out. I can do this. And as I've said in previous podcasts, I don't have to do this alone. I'm not the one who has to figure this out. I can just give all that anxiety, all that frustration up to God. And He has always shown me how to get through these moments. And that's, I don't know that it's necessarily a trauma response, but that's partly why, I let myself be, that's one of the many reasons I let myself be in such a bad relationship, such a bad situation for so many years, is because I was trying to do things my way, and my way has never worked. My way has never got me anywhere productive or healthy. And this week was kind of a reminder of why I'm doing things different, why I'm living a different life. For me, turning my life over to Christ has been what saved me. For me, that's been my why, my how to get through life. Everybody's different on what that looks like. Some people, it's to nature. Some people, it's to their version of God. But I think it's ultimately giving yourself up to something greater than yourself. And obviously, as a Christian, I want everybody to come to Christ and know the love and joy I experienced through that. But I also know the reality is that's not always going to happen. So I'm not here to tell you, try and change your life, fix it. But giving yourself up to something greater than you is going to help reduce a lot of that stress and that stress and that frustration, especially as a parent, being able to turn over and be what I'm doing is not effective, and me and my kid are miserable, so let's try a different way. And if I would have just stopped and taken a breath and said a prayer, I guarantee so much of that conflict could have been avoided. But I was too proud in those moments. And I'm still working on letting that go. I'm still working on figuring that out. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. But I know that I'll figure it out. Me and my son will figure it out. We'll be okay. And an ambulance is driving by right now. But yeah, parenting it's hard, and I felt like such a failure this week. And that's my own fault. I should have done what I know to do, and I didn't. But one thing, again, that made it all worth it is today, my kid in Sunday school class, it's not Sunday school, it's his Sunday class, whatever. The teacher told me afterwards that there is a story time, and they were all given like little balls of paper. I don't really know the story. I'm really going to butcher it trying to say it, but I know one little girl in the class didn't get a ball of paper to throw away, and she was really, really sad. She was so upset because she couldn't throw a ball of paper away. My son found an extra piece of paper and gave it to her. So she wasn't left out because he knows what it feels like to be left out. And he made sure to help her feel good again. And the teacher told me that, and I'm going to cry because she looked at me and she said, "Mama, you're doing good. You're doing good." So these hard days, these hard weeks, I know they're moments and they're not forever. And I don't know who out there needs to hear it, but you are doing good. And these moments do not define us. And our kids are not going to hate us because we had a bad day or we had a bad week. They will always still love us. We just have to keep trying to do better and remember that we're not perfect, and we are not always going to make the perfect memories. But as long as you're trying and you show up for your kids, that's all they really ask. They just want our attention. They want our love. They want to know we're there for them. That's all I got. See you next time.